Okay, welcome everybody to another one of our interviews here on the divorcemagazine.co.uk. If you haven't seen our website, please go there. There's so much information on the website, all to do with divorce and separation. And all our articles, let's say the majority of them are actually written by divorce professionals. The ones that are not written by divorce professionals, that means divorce coaches, psychologists, lawyers, family mediators, anybody who's trained to work in the world of divorce. The ones that are not written by them are written by people who are telling us about their personal experiences of divorce. So if you have any questions, if you're just starting off, if you're in the middle of it and you have any questions, head off to the Divorce Magazine and you will find the answers. If you don't find the answers, email me and I will find the answer for you and I will publish it so other people can get to know about it. So thank you so much for joining us today. We have Despina Mavridou, who is with us, and it's going to be kind of a different, hi, Despina, kind of a different interview because I don't think we have had somebody come on the Divorce Magazine and talk about their own experiences of divorce as a child. We've had many professionals, but you're a divorce professional, and today you're coming wearing a different hat, which is that of a child or an adult who experienced divorce as a child. So do you mind if I introduce you really quickly?
No, it's fine.
Is that all right?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
So today we have Despina Mavridou, who is an author, a mediator, and a lawyer in Greece. She has experienced the negative effects of divorce when she was the age of 10, when her parents decided to separate. For many years, she was in the middle of the fights between her parents. And approximately, I think, the age of 17, she decided that she didn't want to see her dad anymore. And she will tell us a little bit more about that decision and how it came about. And this decision lasted for about 20 years. But you have since reunited with your dad, which you can tell us about also, how it came about. I think that would be really helpful. And then after many years of working as a lawyer, in the last 4 years, she discovered mediation and she went into it. And she also discovered her passion for writing. This passion for writing led her to write her first book, which is called Mom, Dad, Can You Hear Me? And it's based partially on her own personal story. Despina wanted to share certain things also with her parents so that they can see what it was like for her and the feelings that she had when they were going through divorce. So working as a family mediator in family dispute issues, she has seen how difficult it is for parents to actually step in the children's shoes and see the whole process of divorce from their perspective. So let's see how we get on today. And I really hope that there are going to be lots of parents watching this video so that they can hear it from the child's perspective, what it was like to be in that situation of divorce with your parents. So welcome, Despina.
Hi, thank you. And I'm really glad that I'm here with you.
Thank you so much. I was really happy when you said about coming in to talk about this particular subject because, as I said, we haven't had it on the Divorce Magazine. So yeah, a huge welcome to you. Thank you for reaching out. Okay.
Thank you for having me.
So if I can start just by asking you how old you are when your parents decided to divorce.
Yes, I was around 10 when all the fights started, actually. And then they divorced after 1 or 2 years after they start fighting.
Okay.
And yes, at the beginning, I mean, I didn't understand when they were fighting. I didn't realize that they will go for a divorce. I didn't even know what it means. I didn't, I wasn't familiar with what divorce means and all this. I knew that they were fighting. There were a lot of fights almost every day at home. The situation was not easy. And at some point, they called me and they announced to me the divorce, only to me, because I also have a sister who is 7 years younger than me. So they announced the divorce only to me, not to my sister.
Right. Okay.
And to be honest, I don't really remember the discussion, what they said. I don't remember anything about this.
Yeah.
But I clearly remember the day that I came back from school and my dad was packing his things and he left. This is what I remember from that
Yeah.
period. This is the memory that remained in my mind, and I still have it today. That when I was coming back from school, he was packing everything to his car, and the library was empty from his books and everything. And this was really strange. It brought me a lot of sadness. Even now, when I'm thinking about it, it makes me feel a bit sad because it was a little bit, I was feeling a little bit terrified. My mom was really, really sad, and I didn't know what to do. I was feeling really trapped, if I can say it, sad, trapped, and helpless, and very insecure, very insecure.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
because I had a really good relationship with him, because sometimes the balance at home are, are different. When during a marriage, maybe the kids are more, the dad is the good guy, the mom is the one that you have to do the homework with the children, and she has to put all to have the boundaries and everything. So this was the relationship that I had with him. He was the more calm, the good cup. He was the good cup,
Yeah.
and my
Yeah.
mom was the bad cup. So when the good cup leaves the home and you're left with a bad cup,
Yeah.
you feel you don't know how the things will go.
Yeah.
You feel really alone.
Yeah, listening to you say, relate that story of coming home and finding your dad packing his stuff. And I'm thinking how confusing I feel now. And I wasn't even there, and I'm an adult, just arriving and seeing everything changing within, it sounds like it happened so fast. Everything just,
Yes, because actually they announced the divorce the day before. I mean, I don't remember exactly how many days passed, but I remember that they told me about the divorce, and then after 1 day, 2 days, I don't remember, but it was a really short period of time that my dad left home. It happened
yeah,
immediately
yeah,
after they announced it.
yeah,
And then the next memory that I have it was the Christmas, because I really don't. I think that it wasn't. He didn't left at that period. He left 1 or 2, maybe 3 months before. But I remember the first holidays that they were really, really difficult for me and for all the family and for my mom, because my mom was really sad.
yeah,
She was crying very often. She was working a lot also, and we yes, it was my grandmother. We were staying with my grandmother. And I remember that holidays were really difficult for us, for me and my sister also.
yeah, yeah. Once your dad left, did anybody explain to you what happened? Do you know why they divorced? Did you have anybody looking after your feelings, asking how, or did life just go on?
From what I remember, I think that life just go on. And
Yeah.
what I recall now is that everybody was telling me that I have to take care of my mom because she's really
Oh,
sad and she feels very, very sad, and I have to help her. Actually, because in the story, there was also a third person in the story. I mean, dad left for another woman,
right.
so he was the bad guy.
Yeah.
And yeah, and it was hard for my mom. And as a woman, I can understand that.
Yeah.
But what is really different, it's for the kids cannot understand these things.
No.
They cannot understand anything about this third person. And it's completely, I mean, they care only about their mom and their dad. If another
Mm,
person comes, if you say bad things about this person will be the bad person.
mm,
If you say good things or if you are neutral, they will accept it in the way that you talk about it. I mean, it's completely the adults will handle it. This is how the kids will accept it or
yeah.
not.
So you had to look after.
So
Go on.
yes, what I remember is that everybody was telling me that I have to look after of my mom and my little sister also.
Mhm.
And this was a lot. It was a lot of burden because I knew that my mom wasn't feeling good. I was trying to make her feel better, and I understand. And then when they Actually, then they start putting me in the middle because I had to, we had to, we scheduled, we had the program that we had to see my dad for 2 days. I mean, every week, I think. I don't remember exactly how it was. But what I remember very, very well was the fact that I had to transfer messages.
Okay.
I had to, for example, my mom was telling me, you have to say this. And when I was transferring these messages, my dad was telling me, tell her this. And I was trying to change these messages and make them a little bit softer, because if I was transferring the exact same words, I knew that they will
Oh,
start
wow.
fighting.
This is, I'm listening to you speaking and I'm just thinking, and how old were you? Were you
This started
11?
from 11, from 11, 12, something like that.
So not only are you being the messenger.
No, these messages, I remember them very well from the age of 13, to be completely
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
From the age of, because I have the memories. Some things I don't remember them very well, but from the age of 13, I remember that I had to transfer messages up to the age of 17. This
And then
was going on and on for
you're
years.
transferring the messages, but you also have to change the message and make it nicer. So
I
you're,
was trying to change them,
yeah,
yes,
so you
because
can look after, you can look after the situation, you can look after mom, you can look after dad, you can look after your sister.
yes, and also because, you know, when you transfer the message in exactly what how the other person was saying it, it's like when you are the mediator.
Yes.
You will hear also the reaction. The other person will not know anything about this reaction. You are the person that will receive the reaction, the anger, most probably the anger, because there will be a lot of anger at the moment that you will transfer the message. So I knew that if I say this back to my mom, for example, I knew that her reaction would be really hard. And I didn't want to hear this. And I didn't want her to say, for example, oh, and why you didn't answer back? And why you didn't fight back and say this, and that? So I was softening the messages to change a bit the situation and not to have to hear also that why you didn't defend me.
And all this while you're a child.
Yeah.
Yeah. At what point did you say, stop, I'm not doing this anymore?
At 17, and I didn't say stop because I was afraid to say stop. I don't know why I was afraid to say stop, but I never said stop, I don't like this. I only said that I don't want to see my dad anymore. Also because he was the bad guy. He was the bad guy, and I had to take care of my mom. And he broke the marriage, and he brought a third person in the marriage. So I had to try to defend my mom. And I think these are all the reasons why I never said to my mom, "Stop! I don't want to do this anymore," because I was feeling guilty, and I was feeling also responsible.
You were feeling responsible.
I was feeling responsible because I want to defend her. And I was also because I knew that I am like my dad, because I knew from a young age that I am more similar to my dad, that I was afraid and I didn't want to do the same things to her as my dad. So I
Right.
was trying to be different.
It's a lot. It's a
It's a
lot.
lot.
It's almost like being therapist, being family therapist,
Yeah.
being individual therapist to your mom, looking after your sister. But all this is not just the physical looking after, but very much the emotional and mental health of looking after everybody in the house.
What I understand now as adult is that I try to block all my emotions.
Mhm.
I wasn't feeling anything. For years I couldn't cry. I couldn't even cry. And I never discussed it also with my friends. My best friend, of course, she understood what happened, but I never told her. After many years, I told her that my parents got a divorce. I
Can I
was
ask,
trying to hide it.
can I ask why you didn't tell her or why you were trying to hide it?
I think that for that time in Greece, divorce was something very, you know, they were pointing the finger on you if your parents were. It's not something. It wasn't something so common as it is in these days. And
Right.
I was feeling also a little bit embarrassed. Also, when we were going out, I was looking with my dad. I was looking, you know, if we were going to a restaurant, for example, I was looking around the other families that they were all mom, dad, and kids. And I was afraid, and I was feeling that everybody is watching us and they see that the mom is missing, so that something is wrong here.
And then you would feel
And
embarrassed.
embarrassed, yes, I was feeling embarrassed.
No wonder you didn't have space to deal with your own emotions. You were dealing with everything else. There was no
Yes,
room for you to
uh,
deal.
yes.
Did anybody look after you?
I think nobody,
Yeah.
because everybody was a bit shocked with the divorce, and they were trying to handle it. For example, also for my grandmother was something really hard for her, and she was feeling really sad for her daughter, and for, I don't know, maybe she took it also personally due to the third
Yeah.
person. And well, everybody was trying to tell me that my dad is the bad guy and you have to take care of your mom. And nobody actually, well, they were asking me if I am okay, but I had to be the strong person to take care of my mom. So when you ask me, when you say all this, and then you ask me how am I think that you can't expect me to open up and speak.
It's true. And also, what if you open up? Then who's going to contain those feelings? Who's going to take
Yeah.
them and
And
look after them?
if even if I missed my dad, it was really hard for me to express this and talk about it because he was a bad guy. How I could miss a person that betrayed my mom?
Yeah, yeah. You said something earlier on, Despina. You said there was the third person, but you will go along with whatever is said about this other person. So
Yes,
if they say the person is bad and everything, then you're a child. You just go along with that.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I think that this is, and that's why I think it's a very delicate subject, the third person and the betrayal generally. And I understand, as a woman, I understand how hard it was for my mom.
yeah.
And, but on the other hand, for example, for me, even at this age, that now I am 42 years old, I still don't have a relationship with this person because my dad is married to this person now,
Okay.
and he also has a child.
Yeah. Oh, I
But
see. So yeah.
even now, because of all the things that I heard in the past, because all of this hate and all the anger and all this discussion about this person, even now, I don't have the courage to meet this person and talk with her because I feel that I'm betraying my mom if I do it.
And if you did do that today, do you think you would actually be betraying her? Do you think that she
I'm
would?
feeling yes that she
Yeah.
will feel she will feel bad. She will feel that I'm hurting her if I do this.
What about the child in the?
Well, I would like to meet him one day.
You
This
haven't met him either.
no,
How
no.
old is he?
I think it's 20. He's 20.
Wow. What the picture I'm getting is just how deep this has run. It
Yeah,
wasn't just
yeah,
temporary. It has run, it's almost like permanent scar and cut that hasn't completely healed.
yeah. And I think that this, doesn't help you to have a good balance.
Mm,
Because I mean, it's good to have a blended family. I feel like it's good to have you have more people in your life, and they probably can you can have also a good relationship.
yeah,
But
yeah,
that's why I think that it's important how you talk to kids about the third person in the life of one of
yeah.
the parents if this happens. And that's why I feel that it has to be completely different because I understand how hard it was for my mom. As a woman, I 100% understand her. And most probably, I would have done the same thing as a woman.
Mm,
But as a kid, when you look, it's completely different for the kid because for the kid, it's the dad. You can't say to the kid that your dad is a bad guy because the kid knows firstly that maybe he has same characteristic to this person, and it's one of the two fundamental people in his or her life, in the child's life.
yeah, yeah,
If you say that this person is a bad person because he broke the marriage, because he met a third person and he betrayed his woman and everything.
In the family.
The kid maybe feels also that something wrong with the kid also. I mean, I was feeling that something was wrong with me, that I don't have a good character, that maybe I will do the same thing when I will grow up.
Wow, I see. So you're saying because, correct me if I'm wrong. So you're saying as a child, you know, this is mommy, this is daddy. So I love this person, I love that person, I'm part this person, I'm part that person. These are my parents. So if you're told one parent is a bad parent, then you start thinking, am I also bad because I'm part this person?
I'm part. I mean, I have half the DNA of this person. So whatever you say about this person, the kid will feel like it maybe it's also they make it
They introject, they take.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
That's really important. And I wish parents could hear that because I've worked a lot with parents who are going through divorce. And both as a family mediator, which I used to do before, and then as a psychologist, where parents are going through divorce and they're struggling with the divorce. And this part that you're saying about how you speak about the other parent actually can affect the child, not just in terms of the relationship with that parent, but personal, how they
Yeah,
view themselves.
yeah.
When you decided you don't want to see your dad anymore, from what you're saying, I'm seeing it like it was a way for you to protect yourself. And
Yes. I was trying to protect myself I was trying to find a solution to this situation where I was in the middle.
yeah, yeah. And this lasted for 20 years.
Yes, because after that I knew that if I start having a relationship with him, I will have the exact same problems. And actually, after I went to therapy and I worked a lot with myself and I realized certain things, and I had the courage to admit to myself that if I don't recreate a relationship with my dad, I will always have an emptiness in me. After that, I started realizing that yes, I have to have a relationship and I have to meet him again.
Yeah,
And I felt really good with myself when I start to have again a relationship with him.
yeah,
But I'm still afraid. And I said to my mom that I will do that. I will have a relationship with him, but I don't want you to ask me how he is and what he's doing. I
yeah,
don't want you to know anything about that. I mean, I'm still afraid of being in the middle,
yeah.
even if I have worked a lot with myself.
Yeah, and you're an adult,
Yes, and I'm
it's
an adult.
still, the fear still continues. So you've
Yes,
put a
because the
firm
fear,
boundary.
the trauma creates a fear, and the fear is always there, and it comes up even when you don't expect it. And even if you feel an adult, I have my own family now, I have a kid, I am an adult. Still, if my mom asks me, how is your dad? I will feel afraid to answer that question.
Yeah, yeah. And does she ask you?
No,
No.
no,
So
no,
you put the
no.
boundaries and that's
Yes,
it.
yes.
When you stopped seeing your dad, did he try to reach out, try to see you, call you?
He tried sometimes, even if my sister feels that he had to try more. And sometimes I'm think about it also. But I feel that it was like a punishment for him because he
Mm.
was trying, he was calling, but we never answered. Okay, I have thought that maybe he could try harder,
Yeah,
but to be honest, I don't know how difficult it was for him also to
okay,
continue pushing the same wall.
okay. There you go, already thinking about him and,
Yeah. Yes,
falling into the same.
it's in the kid's nature to
Yeah,
think about the
yeah,
parents. And to be honest, I always think, and I say this, that they say in Greece that the parents are sacrifice many things for their kids. But I believe the opposite. I believe that kids sacrifice more for their parents. Kids can sacrifice their own personality for their parents.
like you did.
Like I did, and generally, I can see this many times for the
Yeah,
kids trying to protect their parents, even in the parental alienation, when they don't talk to their parents,
yeah,
sometimes there is another reason that has nothing to do with the other parent that they
yeah.
are not talking to them, and they still feel guilty for not doing it.
Yeah, okay, okay. I have a question about that. When you said he could have tried harder, because one of the things that I found, especially most of my clients have been fathers, and the fathers who have been asked, you need to take a parenting course so you can start seeing your children again for whatever reasons. And some of these fathers who have been asked by the court to take the parenting course have been some of the most fantastic fathers I have met. So really good dads, and they're so keen to seeing their children. But sometimes I have had fathers who will say, but I have tried calling and they're not picking up. I've sent messages, they're not picking up. What else do you want me to do? What would you say to a dad who thinks that he's done the most? What more can they do?
Well, for me, they have to still keep trying
Yeah,
with the calls and messages, not something else, but they have to keep trying.
yeah, yeah. However much they find it difficult just to keep trying consistently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They find it difficult because maybe it hurts them personally, maybe it makes them feel bad. I can understand how hard it is,
But the child on
but
the
you
other,
have to keep trying. You have to
yeah,
keep trying.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
This is the only evidence that you have later to
yeah,
show them that you fight for them. You try to fight for them.
yeah. I have a very, very close friend of mine who did that, who fought for his daughter for years and years. And by the time they reconciled, I think when she turned maybe 18, 19, she got in touch with him. And now they see each other and, nice relationship. But like you say, there's the evidence. He could show her everything he had tried, going through the courts, trying to find like a contact center where they would meet, everything. He had like a big, folder to show this is what I've done. And I think in the background, she probably, as she was growing up, she could see and she could hear. And then when she was free, then she got in touch with him and she appreciated that he kept trying. But the
Mm.
children have no power. They have no power.
No,
Yeah.
no, exactly. And this is also something that I'm also try to say it often to the parents, but that the kid doesn't have the ability and the freedom to open the door and leave the house. The kid has to stay with one of the parents because they cannot survive if they open the door. That's why for the kids it's completely different. They have to survive between two people that they don't want to see each other, and they have also the possibility not to be together anymore.
Mm.
The kid cannot say that I will divorce my parent. You can divorce the partner, but you cannot divorce the parent. So that's why it's completely different for the kid. And nobody hears the divorce through the eyes of a kid. Also, the kids have a story of divorce, but it doesn't going, nobody hears about it.
Yeah. I like that the kids also have the story of the divorce, but nobody is hearing it.
Mm.
Yeah. When you decided not to see your dad, was there, it sounds like a silly question, but was it painful? Or was it just survival?
No, at the moment it wasn't painful
Yeah,
because I was in survival mode.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But when I grew up and I started working with myself, for years I was trying to hide all the emotions. And then it was also hard for me to admit that, yes, I miss him and I want to have a relationship with him. And I was doing it for me because you never feel complete if you don't have a relationship, even a bad one, with with your both parents.
Both parents, yeah, yeah. Despina, what would you say to parents who are going through divorce now in terms of, I'll break it down in two. What would you say to parents who are listening to this and who have not yet told their children about the divorce? What advice would you give them in terms of telling the children and how to manage it from there?
Well, for me, the announcement is not as important as how you will handle it after that. Because many times they announce everything and everything looks perfect, and after that, it's completely different. So for me, the most important is to start therapy first, to work with your emotions a little bit, and then to announce it to the kids and to be ready to handle to be ready to handle the parenting plan, because if you cannot handle your emotion, you can never sit down and create a parenting plan and be ready to talk about the kids' needs.
Okay. In this situation, so where there's, let's say, a third person, like in your situation, and everything happens really fast, and maybe one parent says, oh my gosh, you're having an affair, that's it, I'm done, you're out, right? They don't have
Mhm.
time to go for therapy and to plan it out. It happens so fast. So and I completely agree with you that the announcing of the divorce is a big deal, but what is an even bigger deal is how the divorce is managed, because that can end up being the main trauma for the
Yeah.
child, not even that. So how would you suggest that parents handle it once the announcement has been done, after that, to make it as child-centered as possible?
For me, as soon as you start the therapy,
Mhm.
also for in this situation, even if it starts really, the things happen really
Yeah,
fast,
yeah,
you still can, as fast as the things evolve, you can start the therapy. Because
okay.
otherwise, in a month, the things will go really bad, and for the kid will be really hard to handle. But not only one, both of them, they have to go. This
Yeah,
is the problem.
yeah,
Also, especially the person that was betrayed and
yes,
saw that the other parent had
yeah.
an affair, this is the person especially that has to go to the therapist.
Right. Okay. And the children and therapy, or you think if the parents,
No, I think that if the parents go, the kid will be fine.
yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. Yeah, because then they learn how to look
They will
after the
know how
child
to
and
explain the things, yes, and they will divide their emotions from
yeah,
the kids.
yeah, yeah,
And they will be, maybe they will be able to see how hard it is for the kids.
yeah. Okay. Another question is with regards to school, do they tell the teachers, do they tell school that we're going through divorce, or do they keep quiet about it? I mean, what would your view be on that? I know I have my view on it,
To
but
be honest, to be honest, I was feeling embarrassed. I didn't want for my professions, for my teachers to know about the
yeah,
divorce. But I think that the teachers should know about it so as to handle it in a more delicate way. And if they see a strange behavior, to be able to help.
yeah. And to be able to know why this strange behavior is here.
Yeah,
Otherwise, if they don't know and the child starts changing their behavior, they're not concentrating, they're playing out, and they're like, what's wrong with this child?
yeah,
But as soon as they know, there's something happening at home, then they're able, and also children reach an age where they spend more time at school than they do at home.
yeah. Yeah.
So,
And
someone,
maybe if they have a good relationship with the teacher, maybe they can discuss about it. But
yeah,
it's good, and the teacher should never go to the child and say that I know about that.
yeah,
It's the
yeah.
kid that has to go to the teacher and confess this.
Tell the teacher, yeah. And how did you get back with your dad?
I just called him once and I told him that how are you? What are you doing? I was afraid to do the call, but
Mm,
after that I felt really good with myself.
yeah, cannot have been.
Therapy helped me to take the step and do
Yeah,
it.
yeah. It could not have been easy, but I'm glad that you did it, because I imagine that I often say that if you have that question, shall I get in touch, shall I not get in touch? Then get in touch, I would say, because if you are absolutely sure that you didn't want to get in touch, then you wouldn't have the question, the back of your mind,
Yeah.
shall I get in touch? Just get in touch and then see what happens from there. And then you don't ever have to have the question again.
Yes, yes, I completely agree with this.
Yeah, yeah. So I know you mentioned that you have a little daughter. So is your daughter seeing your dad? Do they?
Well, we have trying. He cannot walk. He had an
Oh,
operation,
okay.
and he doesn't want to see her right now because he has some difficult problems with his health. He has some issues. But I mean, I'm sending him photos, and I hope that one time he will
Yeah.
meet her.
Yeah, yeah. So it's kind of like slowly building up, you know.
Yes, yes,
Yeah. Okay. All right. So your book, Despina,
yeah.
where can we get it?
On Amazon.
Yeah.
It's in English and also in Portuguese. You
Okay.
can find
Oh,
it also
wow.
in
Okay.
Portuguese. Yes, they are
Well
both on
done.
Amazon.
Yeah.
And in Portuguese is also available from Gaudí Editorial.
Okay. All right.
And I have also created a diary that goes with the book that you can find it also on Amazon,
Okay.
only because I think that it's really good for the kids to write their emotions at least. If they don't have
Okay.
anyone to confess and to talk,
To talk.
they can write for themselves certain
Yeah.
things or certain
Okay.
thoughts.
Okay. Oh, that's so the diary is for the children.
Yes, it's also
Okay,
for
so
the
it's
kids.
it's separate from the book?
It's separate from the book. Yes, they can,
And
you can buy it or not, but
okay.
independently from the diary, if the kids don't have someone to confess and
Yeah.
to talk,
Or
it's good
even,
if
yeah,
you help them to write down their
yeah.
thoughts.
And I think even if they have somebody to talk to, and somebody
Yes, they
can
still
still
can,
want
yeah,
to, to write things down for themselves, because writing can
yeah.
be very helpful to process, what we're going through. And what's the title of your diary? What's
The diary, it's just the diary,
okay,
and
okay, the
it's
diary.
under my name. Yeah.
Despina Mavridou. Okay, all right.
One last thing I would like to say now that we
Yeah.
were talking about the diary, because for the kids, it's very important when you are with the kid to let them free to express all their emotions for the other parent. I mean, even if they say that they had a good time, be
Oh,
happy try to be happy for them.
yeah, yeah,
If they get a present that you don't like,
yes,
from the other parent and you don't agree with this present, or you think that it's really cheap, try not to, it's important not to say anything.
yeah, yeah.
This is the only way that they will feel like they have the space and they feel secure and they will be able to express themselves.
Yeah, I absolutely, and thank you so much for bringing that up. I absolutely agree with that. In those situations, I think as the parent, you have to just bear it. You
Yeah.
have to bear it and allow the child to come back and say, when I was at daddy's, I did this and this and that. And when I was at mommy's, oh yeah, that sounds really like it sounds like you had a good time. And even if inside you're thinking to yourself, "Oh, I don't want to
Yeah.
hear this.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want
Yeah.
to hear it." But actually just allowing the child the space to be a child,
With child, yes,
to be a child.
like it was before the divorce.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, that sometimes when, and I know some of the parents, they completely say that they cannot do it. It's such a difficult journey to go through divorce, even where there are no children, right?
Yeah.
When there are children, it makes it even harder at that
Yeah.
point. But if we're going to go and continue parenting full on the way we would parent even before the divorce, there are certain things that can make the child's world much, much easier to cope with.
Completely different. It
It
will be
can be,
completely,
yeah,
and it will not leave any trauma.
yeah, yes, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And it's things like, and some of the parents tell me I'm absolutely not doing that. I say, okay, so it's Mother's Day. Go and get your child a Mother's Day card for his mom or her mom. It's daddy's birthday. Get them to get, as much as you just don't like the person, but he's still the person who is important to your most important
For
person.
your, yeah.
And she's
Yeah.
still the most important person to, and when I tell parents that, they're like, I promise you, I am not buying a Mother's Day card. It's not happening. But at least I've put that idea there because I look at the child, you
Yeah.
know, the
Yeah.
child and look at it from the perspective of the child. Oh, mommy, happy Mother's Day.
Yeah. And don't talk about money.
No. Oh gosh.
This was
Yeah.
this was such a huge
Oh
issue.
wow. Did you
Such a
have to
huge
do
issue.
that?
Yes, I had to talk a lot about money because my dad wasn't paying anything, almost anything for us, and my mom was paying everything for us. So I was feeling that I was a burden for my mom because she was paying everything, and I was feeling that I was nothing for my dad because he didn't want to pay anything.
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you talk about money, kids will never feel good.
Yeah.
Because if you say that I spend a lot for you, they will not feel that you care. They will feel that they are a burden. And if you say that your dad or your mom doesn't pay anything for you, they will just feel that they don't love them enough.
Yeah.
So don't talk about money.
Yeah. There are three things that I say to parents when they're going through divorce, and that's one of them. Don't involve children in adult matters. They don't need to know when you're going to court. They don't need to know what the court papers have said. They don't need to know what the financial agreement is. Because they don't have any power to deal with this. They don't know what to make of it. Like you say, they can't say, I'm leaving. So don't involve children in adult matters. Do not get them to mediate between the parents.
Yeah.
Can you tell your mom this? Can you tell, in terms of mediating, oh, but I really love your dad. Maybe if you told your dad, he would listen to you. Oh, your mom, it's kind of like, just don't get them to mediate and don't let them be messengers. Go and tell your mom, I'm coming on Saturday at 2 o'clock. Mom, dad is coming at 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock is not his time, and then it just becomes like, I'm just giving you a message. But then, like you had to do, soften the message, timing, everything, look after it so that it can have a soft landing.
And kids sometimes in this dialogue, they will try to say maybe also opposite things to its
Mm,
parent.
yeah,
Probably they will say, for example, to the dad, I had a great time with you. And they will say to their mom, no, it was boring with dad. I didn't like it.
yeah,
And when they will go to mediation, they will start fighting because they will say, but the kid told me that he had a great time. And mom will say, no, but he said that he didn't like it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So we need to just, like you say, continue parenting as we would before the divorce.
That's
And
why I think that the therapist will help.
yeah, I agree.
Nothing else can help. And also for the people that go to the court and they believe that the judge will see the case and they will understand and they leave the judge to decide for their families. I mean, I find it really
Yeah,
difficult to
yeah,
believe that the judge in 15 minutes will
yeah,
decide about a family of 10, 15 years that they are together and
yeah,
they will decide exactly and
yeah.
what is best for this
For
family.
the child, where the child goes on which day at what time and everything like that. Yeah, I think, and I think that nowadays even judges don't want people to come to court.
No, no, they
You know,
don't. Yeah.
Despina, if anybody wanted to contact you with regards to not just your book, but just to ask you questions, can they do that about how to manage
Yes,
their own? Yeah.
yes, of course. Well,
Okay.
I can talk about my personal relationship.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, about me
Yeah.
and my experience. And as a mediator, yes, I could give some advices, of
Yeah.
course.
Okay.
And yes, I will be
Do you
happy to help.
you have a website?
I don't have a website. I have my email and I have Instagram, Facebook, yes,
Okay.
and TikTok. This I'm
What's
on social media. It's
your
author Despina Mavridou. You can find me under my name and
okay.
with the word author in front.
Okay. Author Despina Mavridou.
Yeah,
Okay, for Instagram.
for Instagram. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you so, so much for taking the time.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know it's
I
going to
hope
be,
that it was helpful. And
I
if there are
think,
any questions, we can do also another one if you want to answer them.
yeah, honestly, I think I hope as many parents as possible will listen to this. And even if you change the direction that one or two parents are taking currently with the divorce of their children, then that would be a job well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.